Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Title of my presentation today is The Coronavirus Period, Addressing Fear and Anxiety. During the current crisis of the virus, many people are experiencing bouts of fear and anxiety. I'm going to offer some suggestions to calm fears and anxiety by addressing your overall health and also understanding some other central issues that relate to our mind and our understanding. It's common to view that reactions to challenging circumstances has to do only with personality differences, although this is true to a certain extent, depending on your mental focus and philosophy of life, which I'll be discussing. There are other factors that we can understand that will help us to address our reactions to circumstances, including fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety are two common reactions to stress, and how a person reacts to stress is often related to the adrenal glands. If the adrenal glands have been overworked, glands that sit on top of the kidneys, they create hormones that affect the nervous system. One part of the nervous system is putting out energy and using up nutrition, called the sympathetic nervous system. And the other part of this autonomic nervous system is the parasympathetic, which conserves nutrients and rebuilds the body. Naturally, one parasympathetic system is normally active at night and the sympathetic is active in the day. The stress response is the sympathetic nervous system can be overactive and then it burns out the adrenal glands. They become exhausted. And when this happens, when you're exposed to another stress, your body and mind can't seem to take it, so it reacts with certain kinds of emotions to circumstances, which are sometimes called the fight or flight response to challenges and challenging circumstances. I'm going to address several ways to calm our fear and anxiety. First way I'm going to be talking about is seeking knowledge about current circumstances. There seems to be a lot of fear involved and being promoted by major outlets of news and some confusion about what's really going on. So I encourage people to seek all different kinds of sources of information which can help to calm your fear and anxiety. The second, I would recommend that people address your overall health and to look at and address if your body has been exhausted by stress. I'm going to be addressing how to understand or how to see if you've been affected by stress and how and what kind of stresses weaken and exhaust the adrenal glands, which in Oriental medicine they call the kidney energy. And their idea is that the kidney energy controls the health of the whole body. Third aspect of this is that we can calm our anxiety and fear and other emotions related to the current crisis of the virus. Is something that I addressed in other presentations, that we need to protect your immune system so that you feel more confident that you will not get sick when exposed to viruses and infections. Fourth way is to do techniques that can help you address emotions that may sap your energy. And a lot of what I've been inspired from in my health teaching and understanding, as well as many philosophical areas, is from the wisdom in the East and the tradition from China. And the Taoist tradition, they called the emotions the seven thieves. That if they get out of control, although they're a normal, healthy part of life, if they get out of control, they can sap your energy. So practices like meditation, prayer, contemplation, and also practices like gentle yoga and qigong can help to calm, put you into the calm parasympathetic state of your nervous system, the non-stress state, train that. And on top of that, practices of contemplation and prayer, like meditation and prayer, visualization, have a tendency to quiet the mind. And during this practice, people watch their thoughts and then let go of their thoughts. It's a process of stopping, in a sense, thoughts just by letting them go. And by training yourself in this way, it's a lot easier to let go of negative thoughts that may be interfering with your life or out of control. And the last area which I'll address and talk about that can help us is the study of philosophy. Study of philosophy is something that's been done in the auspices of all the great religions and spiritual teachings, and even from the time of ancient Greece, of the Stoics, and they offer deep wisdom, as many other writings, deep writings of the past, offer insights into us which help us to deal with and understand how to deal with circumstances in our life and give us also a sense of peace that by having a deeper understanding of what's going on with ourselves and answering or asking, more than answering, asking important questions. So to start with this, I'm going to be talking about the areas I'm going to be focusing on. I'm going to start talking about stress and how to understand stress and deal with stress and how to see if you've been affected by stress, because if you're affected by stress, you could easily be prone to negative emotions from fear and flight, especially anxiety and fear. So this often is related to weak adrenal glands, which in Oriental medicine and what I use in my IDX diagnosis in counseling and teaching is seen in certain signs in the body. Fear is usually a sign that the adrenal glands, also known as kidney energy in Oriental medicine, is weak. And this kidney energy in my IDX diagnosis, which is a combination of, you might say, Western modern biology and Eastern teachings and ways of seeing health, is seen by looking at the condition of the skin under the eyes. So if a person has redness or purple under the eyes, the body is in the stress mode and can easily react to circumstances around themselves with emotions that may get out of control for them. If a person has darkness under the eyes, then the adrenals are exhausted, and this makes also a person prone to stress emotions, anxiety and fear. And if there's bags and swelling under the eyes, this is the furthest weakening of the adrenal glands. So if you have any of these signs, it usually indicates that over the years, the body has been affected by stress. The stress can come from what we do. So things like dietary stress will cause this. I've addressed this in courses and lectures that I give. Example of this is that diets that are missing nutrients, like many natural diets may be missing nutrients, like low-carb diets are missing carbohydrates, puts you into the stress mode and weakens the adrenals. Many unsupplemented vegetarian or vegan diets can be missing key nutrients like zinc and B vitamins, including B12, and vegan diets can be missing protein. If a person's on a low-fat diet, they could be missing fat. And anything missing can also put the body in the stress mode. In the modern diet, displacing food with high amounts of sugar and white flour, poor quality fats, can put the body in the stress mode. And eating lots of vegetable oils that are known as omega-6 vegetable oils in the modern diet, very high. These are very high in the form of soy oil and refined corn oil but also in some natural diets, the overeating of nuts and seeds and seed oils will cause the metabolism to go into stress because it lowers the metabolism. Many other factors like irregular eating, not eating enough food, um, overeating high amounts of calorie-rich foods like in the modern diet, and then going on diets. These are all stressful things in your daily life that need to be addressed. And lifestyle stresses, including irregular lifestyles, lack of sleep, too much or too little exercise, light stress. Light stress can be coming from too much screen time, like computers, or not enough natural light. You have electromagnetic field stress, emotional and psychological stress, often coming internally, but can also be from circumstances that you might need to change in your life that you're not. And so there are many ways, if we can see how we can basically protect ourselves from stress. But if you've been under stress and to get you out of stress, it's really important. One thing that I discovered years ago as a counter stress I talked about in other classes is something called the 4 S's. And the 4 S's are the four things that help us to basically get out of stress. So one of them is, 1S is saturated fats. Saturated fats have got a bad rap, but saturated fats help to de-stress the body because they will they improve your cardiovascular health. They create stronger bones. They help create your lungs become healthier. They are very good for the brain, so they help your brain chemicals be produced better. They strengthen your immune system. So there are many benefits of saturated fats, and they have the effect on the brain helps you deal with stress because the brain is a high amount of fat, and if it's saturated fat, it's more stable and less prone to damage and irritation. The second S that helps with stress is salt. Salt helps to strengthen the adrenal glands, and many people who are under stress have been doing things in their diet and lifestyle, and stress itself tends to lower the metabolism. And the lower the metabolism, the greater propensity to develop low sodium levels called hyponatremia. Excessive drinking water will also cause this. And this can cause a lot of problems for people. But salt also improves digestion, de-stresses a person, aids in blood sugar control, helps with weight, so it has many other benefits. The next S is stress, but the next S is sugar. So sugar reduces natural sugars, some things like some moderate amounts of fruit or fruit juice or some natural sweeteners can moderate blood sugar and calm the adrenal glands. If you add a bit of salt to your fruit juice, it will help raise your blood sugar and lowers the damaging stress hormones. It increases the metabolic rate, and by doing this, basically, it gets the body out of stress mode. And so it has many beneficial functions in the body, produces energy in the body. When you're under stress, you use up all the sugar in your blood. And if you don't replace that, you start to run on fats. And if you don't replace that, then you start to basically run on proteins that are very inflammatory that put you higher in the stress mode. Something I've explained in some lectures that are available. Lectures and classes available at my website, www.macrobotic.com. And so it's important. Now, sugar needs not to be the main source of energy. Carbohydrates in the form of starches like whole grains and grain products and sweet vegetables and beans are better sources of getting carbohydrates in your diet. Now, these are things that will help stress. Other signs of that your body has been in stress or you're in the stress mode is insomnia. You either can't sleep through the night or you can't fall asleep. Sexual problems, impotence or lack of libido, fearing and anxiety is one of them. Digestive problems, constipation, these are all signs that you've been in a stress mode. and you need to get yourself out of the stress mode. Nutrients that help people to get out of the stress mode include B vitamins. In some cases, if some people have been under stress for a long, long period of time, then I recommend that they take a B vitamin supplement, B complex, 2 or 3 times a day, and also to basically take vitamin C in 1,000 milligrams several times a day. So these are some of the ways that get you out of stress. Another way to get you out of stress and to deal with stress, we'll talk about some other areas to help you to get out of stress, is to eat a well-balanced diet without leaving any major nutrients out, like carbohydrates, fats, or proteins, primarily natural and organic food as much as you can. I call this a full-spectrum macrobiotic diet, and at my website, if you look at the link or the drop-down menu of open macrobiotics, you'll see what I call a banner there that says, what is a macrobiotic diet? And this full spectrum macrobiotic diet explained how I came to start to teach this, which includes a variety of grains and vegetables, and it can include, for people who are open to it, natural animal foods, natural dairy products, natural fats, fruits, and other natural foods, because this diet has been more well-nourishing, nutrient-dense diet that has fostered good health in people all around the world, and it was the true longevity diet. As part of dealing with stress, it's also important not to overeat animal proteins or sugar. Excessive protein, too little protein, will put the body in the stress mode because you don't have enough protein for body structures, for enzymes, for brain chemicals, which stabilize your emotions. And too much animal protein, which means would be something like 12 ounces, 3 times a day, in high amounts when you don't need it, if you're not exercising or doing something very active, will put the body in the stress mode. Too much sugar, which displaces other nutrients, put people in the stress mode. And it may happen because of the sugar. It may also happen because it's displacing other nutrients. If you're especially prone to fear and anxiety, I'd recommend avoiding alcohol and caffeine. But for healthy people, there's no need to avoid these. It's just best not to overdo them or overconsume them. It's important to go to sleep early. And as I mentioned, if you can't get 8 hours of sleep, if you wake up, then that indicates a stress reaction that you have to address. And there's several ways to address that. Also, adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic herbs are herbs that basically strengthen the adrenal glands and give you energy when you need it or calm you down when you don't. So there are several that are very helpful. One is called Siberian eleuthero. Another one is holy basil. Reishi mushrooms also are very good for countering stress. And the last thing to mention about the stress, foods rich in magnesium, such as leafy greens, and calcium, such as whole milk, dairy products, or supplements for vegans, can also counter stress because you use up lots of nutrients when you're under stress. The next aspect of helping yourself to deal with emotions such as fear and anxiety, and to calm yourself from these, is to give you some confidence that, especially at this time, when there's a virus around us or in people that we might be exposed to, that you are confident that you're protecting your immunity. In a class on the coronavirus, I explained how even a common flu, when it goes through the office, some people will not get sick. Some people will get sick a little bit, and some people will get terribly sick. And people who have weakened immunity may even succumb to the illness. So it has a lot to do with your immune system. And even in the most serious diseases, viruses such as Ebola, there are people who do survive. And I believe that is because their immune system is stronger. So I would recommend you refer to that lecture to understand the elements of diet that are important, such as vitamin A and zinc, supplements like D, K2, zinc, vitamin A if you don't eat vitamin A rich foods that help, vitamin C, the crucial role in immunity, and also immune types of tonics that you could use to strengthen the body as well, and to make sure that you eat a really well-balanced diet and have a healthy lifestyle so that your immune system is as strong as it can be. In that lecture, I go over key nutrients that are important. I also wrote some blog posts that address the immune function, the strengthening the immune function, including taking herbs such as astragalus and reishi mushroom, and also point out that when the body's in the stress mode, the immune system tends to malfunction and become lower, so that it's important to keep your immune system strong and avoid things that would weaken your immune system, like too much alcohol, obvious things like smoking, being exposed to toxins in the environment. It's good to do all these things to help keep your immune system strong. Then practices that I mentioned and talked about, such as the meditation, prayer, and contemplation, are ones that should be done on a daily basis, not only to help you in the immediate present. When you're practicing these, people start to develop a sense of calm. But over time, these practices really will make a difference, and also makes it so that the emotions of a person are not controlling them, but that the emotions can be chosen. And then there's another aspect of this, is that when we become quiet, we feel a connection to something greater, whether it be through contemplation or the repetition of a prayer or chanting or a mantra or just following your breath. What a common experience people have is that they feel connected to something greater. And that connection to feeling something greater, which goes by different names depending upon the tradition, whether it be God or Allah or the infinite or spirit, gives a sense of peace and calm that no matter what happens, that connection, that part of you that's connected to something greater than ourselves, is always okay. So this can be very, very helpful for people, to help them to feel calm and centered in trying circumstances, especially ones that may promote more concern, such as the period of the coronavirus right now. And the last thing I'll just mention to finish up is philosophy. The study of philosophy has been something that has been relegated to university and some intellectual discussions. Real philosophy throughout the ages has always been something that people have used to understand their life and how to live through their lives. In recent years, people have been reintroduced to the Stoics, ancient Greek philosophers, particularly by the works of several key authors, one of them being a man named Ryan Holiday, who wrote a few books which are inspired by the Stoics on philosophy, called one is The Obstacle is the Way, and The Ego is the Enemy, which are excellent books to introduce yourself to the idea of how philosophy can guide your life and create calm and centeredness to your well-being and keep you out of the stress mode by your understanding and seeking to learn more about life and how to interact with life. He also has a book called The Daily Stoic, which is 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. And this is also worth looking into. Although there are philosophical traditions in all different traditions throughout the world, the main issue with studying philosophy that I've understood is that it's not authoritarian based, it's understanding based. So the authors that are not telling you how it is, but ideas or ways to understand life seem to be best. And this is something that gives us greater meaning and also gets a sense of calm and peace during these times. So we have several ways that we can help ourselves. We can understand, learn about the circumstances, what's really going on by knowledge. Secondly, we can understand our condition. And if we've been affected by stress, and if we have been affected by stress, then we can take action to get ourselves out of the stress mode and to heal our adrenal glands so we don't react in stress. Third thing is that we can become more confident, and that assuages fear by making sure that we're taking care of our immune system through our diet, lifestyle, herbs, supplements, and other aspects. Next aspect, we could practice something that creates a sense of calm and peace and helps to train the mind to stop when we need to stop our actions or our behavior or our emotions through meditation or contemplation or prayer. And the fourth aspect is through philosophy. We can start to study philosophy aspects and get insights into aspects of our lives. This can help to calm fear and anxiety on a more existential level. Thank you very much for listening today. And you could, if you'd like to learn more about the work I do and to get more insights, I have courses, diagnosis and nutrition health coach training courses, audio and video courses. I have a lot of free lectures on YouTube, some short, some long, and I also have a lot of blog posts and articles on my website where you get insights. So thank you very much for listening today.